We like to start casual,
Yeah.
so we can just ease into the podcast.
Hey, I'm gonna do an intro then.
Hey, listen up, fuckers. Word to your mum,
I don't think I could.
who is disappointed in you for liking anime, boys.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of the Talkin Ranbu podcast. Woo!
That's a great name. Where'd you get that from?
Then I made it up. It was my idea. I take all credit.
An old sage in the mountains. I journeyed far to the east to discover my next project.
The Sinuous Sage presented me with a parchment, and upon that parchment read, Talkin Ranbu.
And then in little letters underneath it, Taratachi's Bay.
Yep. And that's how it all started. But this is a podcast about Touken Ranbu, obviously.
What's that?
Which is a browser game in Japan that you can play on your browser, and you can get swords and stuff.
Sounds great.
We made a whole video about what Touken Ranbu is and how to play it, so I highly suggest checking that out if you are interested. But as you can hear, I am with two other people today. So first I will introduce Alan, who's going to be my regular co-host on this here podcast.
That's me.
Yep.
It's Amy. Alan.
And with us today is Cam, who is just going to be a guest, but a regular one.
Just a guest.
Well, you're not going to be like a regular
I'm
co-host.
pretty sure the only reason why I'm on this podcast in the first place is because you're recording it in my flat, so...
Well, and figure stuff happened.
True.
You would be the one to go
I
to about the
suppose,
figure
I suppose
stuff.
I am a figure person, aren't I? Hello, yes, I'm Cam. When is this going up?
Probably in about a week from
Okay.
when we're recording it.
I'm also known as Tensei Twister. That's still relevant at this point.
Okay.
And yeah, I do figures and stuff and other stuff. That's very good, isn't
that
it?
sounds-
We're all so alert today.
Yeah, it's quite late in the evening.
I like Touken Ranbu. It's a fun little browser game where I can feel crushing agony and defeat over and over again when the swords I won't come home.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So, speaking of swords, I thought it would be fun for us to introduce ourselves by saying which sword is our favourite. So why don't you start, Alan, with the most surprising of all answers?
My favourite sword is Madare Toshiro.
Yep.
My favourite sword's Akashi because he's beautiful. And I earned him. Which is the main deal, is that as much as I love my starter bay, Hachisuka, he just got given to me. And the amount of work I had to put in to get Akashi just made it all worth it, even though he's not that good. He was the fastest Tachi when he was introduced. He's not the fastest Tachi anymore, because Higikiri has defeated him now. But he's still beautiful, and he's got glasses. And Iwatushi's also amazing, because he's Iwatushi.
Okay, I'll let you have two. How about you, Cam?
So I like Urashima.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like at this point, like when I first saw Urashima, I was like, I need this boy in my life. Look at how happy he is. Look at his, like, Haori thing that he's got on. It's like water and stuff. He's a wakizashi, which is like my favourite class of swords in the game. Like, if it's a wakizashi, I probably like it. Unless it's Nakari.
It's because you can equip archers and they're amazing.
Yeah, man. Pro. Anyway, but now I feel like he has to be my favourite by default. Because, unlike some people who seem to have Urashimas falling out of their eye sockets, Alan, who literally got 2 yesterday.
Yeah.
It took me 2 weeks of solid grinding during a bonus campaign where it was like 10 times drop rate. 2 weeks of solid grinding where I considered taking days off work to grind for Urashima before I finally got him. And I got
Nagasone.
I got 3 Nagasones before I got 1 Urashima.
Which is very rare.
Yeah.
Because with me grinding 6-4 at the moment, Finahongo, who's not coming home, Keibeshi up the arse. You get Urashima he just sort of falls on you. Nagasone still comes every now and again, but
I still don't own Urashima.
that's because you haven't ground for anyone ever.
I haven't, because I would probably pull my own hair out, because it
I
sounds
did.
like the least amount
Bald
of
spot.
fun.
That's from Touken Ranbu.
Fucking hell, man.
You don't care enough. He didn't care enough about Gigi to want to grind for him.
But I did a lot of smithing for him and a
Oh,
lot
look,
of
man, that
grinding
hammer.
for
Ding,
the
ding, ding.
for the resources.
Yeah, I really like Urashima. I also really like Nihongo because he's manly as fuck. Can I say fuck?
Yeah, I think I swore already.
It's a bit late now, but
I could beep you.
True. And who else do I like? I like the manly swords.
Yeah, you
I
do.
I do like the manly. I like Nagasone. I like Tombokiri. I like Nihongo. Yeah, but I do also like Jirotachi as well because he's very lovely.
He's not very manly though.
No, I know. I seem to like go. I like to go in one way or the other, and then
Gokutai.
yeah, oh yeah, Gokutai. Nah, man, what are you talking about? Gokutai is manly as hell. He controls tigers.
He does.
My favourite swords are, first of all, Munechika, because he was the one that I saw first and was like, I need to play this game. Emily was like, have you seen this character? Because
Who is this?
you need to play this game, because Emily was the one who
Emily was the one who sparked all this.
I think I'd heard about Touken Ranbu because they announced Nendoroids before like they had servers that were up for everyone to use. And she was like, there's this game called Talkin Ranbu, and I'm like, I've heard of it because there's a Nendoroid coming out of one of these characters.
It's like Kantai with penises.
I've been watching John play Kantai. It doesn't seem that much like Kantai, really.
I mean, similar
I think
concept.
the basics is the same, but it's like I was saying to you the other day. Kantai is a much deeper game, but I think as a result, it requires a lot more patience in terms of actual gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, Touken Ranbu requires the patience to grind incessantly for however long to get whatever you want, but it's much deeper. I think it involves a lot more. It's a lot harder to just get into.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Plus, there's a lottery to even get on the servers in the first place.
Yeah.
So, but other than Munechika, Gigi, good old Gigi, I really like Honobami and Namazuo.
They're great.
But you have to have both of them together. You can't pick one over the other.
Well, you can.
Well,
Because Hanabami's like infinitely more powerful.
well, I'm not talking about power. I'm just talking about characters that I do like.
We should run down the kind of players we are. Alan is all about stats.
I'm all about.
He's
which
all about stats
characters.
and numbers. You're all about which one is the prettiest.
Well, not necessarily.
And I'm all about which one has the biggest knob.
Yeah.
So
Well, I don't know. I would say Taratachi probably has the biggest knob.
well, or is his size just overcompensating?
Maybe.
Maybe all that meat's gone elsewhere.
Maybe her Tarumaru has the biggest knob.
Probably. He is an Odachi that's like this big. He's been... All that size has got to have gone
He's
somewhere.
wearing these tiny little booty shorts.
I would like to point out this is the first episode of the podcast, and we're already talking about penis
Well,
size
consider-
of fictional
Well,
characters.
that is the fan base, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Good one, Alan. You just
think-
insulted the... Well, is it insulting the fan base? No.
No.
They probably agree.
They like dongers.
Yeah,
Dongers,
it's true.
we all like dongers.
I've seen the Touken Ranbu confession tag on Tumblr. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's glorious.
But talk about favourite swords again. My actual favourite sword came out of nowhere because he's exactly the opposite of like every sort of type that I like, but I fucking love Jirotachi.
Freudian slip.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
It's true.
I meant to say Tarotachi.
Got it wrong.
I did. I'm gonna edit that. I definitely said Tarotachi the first time.
Just really based on it. Tarot Tachi.
Yep.
Just edit that in.
Yeah. Like if they introduced marriage into Touken Ranbu, I would probably go Tarotachi. Probably. Although I did spend a really long time trying to get Munechika.
Well, it's just he was sort of your reason for starting the game.
Yeah, and then I got him.
And then when you got him, you stopped playing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Emily stopped playing when I got Kogi before her.
Oh man, yeah, I got Kogi now as well. Kogi looks fantastic in his, casual wear.
Mm-hmm.
He looks so good.
But he's not very good.
Yeah.
Which is really weird why he's so rare and he's like so close to the bottom of the pack.
It's because he's the Yif Lord.
He hasn't even got 3 slots. He ain't even rarity 4.
Mm.
He is very nice looking though.
Mm-hmm.
Another reason
Again,
I got my,
he would be in the manly party.
would indeed.
yeah, I got my scale figure of him somewhere in the post. I don't
Maybe
know
it'll
where
be
it
there
is.
when you get home.
I hope so, because otherwise I'm going to be concerned, but I cannot wait for that figure. Speaking of figures, though, I'm going to segue into what will be probably the biggest topic of this ear podcast this time.
Winter Wonfes 2016.
Wonfes, which is sort of like a figure expo announcement placed in Japan that happens twice a year.
Can you imagine if it was just an announcement thing that everyone gathers from far and wide across Japan just for a guy being like, yeah, so you're not getting that this year. You're not getting that either this year.
It's also known as the No Akashi Convention. 2 years in a row.
Well, Akashi wasn't really a thing this time last year.
He was last Wonfes. It was not last year.
Okay. But we thought we'd have a little chat about what figures got announced and what prototypes got updated and painted and whatever, because we figured people might be interested. So I'm going to go down the list. And
figures are pretty good.
And I'll put images of them up on the screen so you can see what's going on. And cry when you want to buy all of them. And join the club of poor people who like Touken Ranbu. So the first one that I'm going to mention is the Artifacts J Hotarumaru. The only reason that I'm mentioning him first is because he is the only one not from Orange Rouge.
Yeah, it's weird how he's... I struggle to identify the Artifacts J line now. It just seems to be like
It said on the box of like the Yu-Gi-Oh figures, this is for classic characters.
Yeah, and like that's what it was going forward, and what it has been for a while. And now they've just started kind of putting any old shite in there, but it is Hotarumaru. But yeah, it seems like it's
Kaneki Ken.
Kaneki Ken. It's like, okay, yeah, Tokyo Ghoul is really good, but it's not. I wouldn't call it a classic anime. It's only been out for 20 minutes.
What line did Kotobuki have before for like just normal people?
They didn't. It didn't have its own name. It just they were
well,
just.
There you go. They're probably just like, we'll just use this existing one instead of confusing people with
Yeah,
Artifacts.
Because Artifacts was it's like for comic book characters and stuff, and then they brought along Artifacts J, which started with the Yu-Gi-Oh line, like you said, after the success of the Dark Magician Girl, which was unbranded.
It's weird. It's a weird one.
Yeah, it is weird. So yeah, it's an odd choice for that line.
I also don't know what scale it is, because I don't think there's anywhere that's listed his scale. I'm assuming 1-8, but a lot of the Artifacts J figures are 1/7.
Again, Artifacts J, they can't decide what scale to work in, because all the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff is 1/7. But all the other stuff, so like the Black Butler stuff, is 1/8.
Oh, those are 1/8, yeah.
The Attack on Titan ones are 1/8. And yeah, so it's like, make up your bloody mind. But I'd go out on a limb and say it's 1/8.
Yeah, okay. I hope so, because the people who want to get all of them are going to be really shit out of luck if he happens to be 1/7.
It's going to be 1/8 scale. He's going to be, because he's to scale, he's going to be tiny. He's still going to be full price.
Yeah.
Imagine if he was 1/7 and then you just have him on your shelf and he's the same height as Kogi.
Yeah. But with this figure, I don't really like it that much, personally. I think there's just something about his default pose that doesn't look good. I don't know whether it's his, like, little O face that makes him look way chubbier. You know what I mean? Like, there's just something that looks a bit jank about this figure.
I'm right with his pose. It's just, I think that the level of detail on it, compared to what we've seen at the Orange Rouge ones, just seems a massive step down. I'm assuming it's going to be nowhere near the retail price of, like, Kogi and Gigi, like, shooting well over 10k.
Well, Kogi and Gigi are, like, exceptions for the prices of them. Cashew is quite cheap.
They're a lot more elaborate, though.
Yeah.
Has Surumaru gone up yet? Because I imagine he's going to be the same sort of price as...
Surumaru was 12.
Yeah.
Surumaru's Bay as well.
Surumaru.
I saw the coloured prototypes of that figure and I was like...
Surumaru is a stalker. He's like, don't have a Surumaru yet. And Surumaru's just like, do you want another of me? Have 7.
I'd be like, yes, please, any day. Can I expedite shipping you into my bed?
It's Surumaru and Ichigo who are just like, alright, Alan. And then...
See, Ichigo's my favourite out of the, like, 4.
The special swords.
Yeah, the special swords.
See, I like Surumaru.
I'd like an Ichigo scale figure, but they didn't announce one of those.
And Ichigo in his awakened art, obviously.
God, Ichigo in his awakened art looks awful, and I have no idea why.
Do you know who else looks awful in their awakened art? Going back on topic, Hotarumaru.
Oh god, his
His
head
awakened
looks
art
like...
is really weird.
His head's all, like, disjointed from his body and stuff. But yeah, there's a coloured prototype of the Artifacts J Hotarumaru and the rest of the things that we're going to be talking about from Orange Rouge, because Orange Rouge just know that it prints money, I guess.
It's because Orange Rouge, let's face it, was invented for Touken Ranbu.
Yeah.
Considering-
And now Amatsu-san
Well,
figures.
Yeah.
It's mainly because Orange Rouge isn't really a line. It's just a thing they slapped on something that already
Well,
exists.
it's a brand, isn't it?
It's a brand, yeah. And they had, like, last Wonfes, there were some announcements that just haven't been updated. So there was a Izumi no Kami figure, nothing about that.
Still no updates on
There
a
was-
few of the Nendoroids, because there's the Yagen Nendoroid. Have you
Oh, he's
seen?
up for pre-order.
Is he?
Yeah, I've
Was
got
it?
it on
Oh
pre-order.
yeah, hang on, I'm going mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've seen him now. What about I've forgotten everyone's Ichigo. Has he gone up for pre-order?
Yeah, got him on pre-order.
Hell. See, I'm so behind
The
on
ones
figures.
I've got on pre-order are Dotanuki, Shokudaikiri, Yagen, and Ichigo.
See, Dotanuki went from colour prototype to pre-order pretty much straight away, didn't
Yeah,
he?
it was like a day.
Yeah.
Which is how they seem to be doing it with figures from Touken Ranbu, is they'll have a stream where they show off it coloured properly, and then it'll go for pre-order the next day. So,
And then immediately sell out.
yeah. Well, actually, it's not as bad now that they've got the Orange Rouge label on it, because it was impossible to get a Kogi pre-order, it was impossible to get a Cashew pre-order, it was impossible to get a Munachika pre-order unless you were up at 4 o'clock in the morning or time.
Yep, I remember that night.
Mm-hmm. But it's not as bad now, so... Shall we move on to some more scale figures that got prototypes and things?
Yeah.
So the next one is Yamato no Kami Yasusada from Orange Rouge. It's a 1/8 scale figure. It's very nice looking, but I'm not the biggest fan of...
I'm pretty sure it's
Yamato
just
no
there for
Kami.
people who are buying cashew.
Yeah, it would make a lot of sense because those two have quite a...
They're bays. They're friends.
Yeah, they're
buddy
friends.
I wouldn't say they're friends.
buds. They're connected.
They are connected, like,
they're
through
soul sisters.
history and stuff. It's a very nicely detailed figure by the looks of things.
He's got a Shinsengumi coat on, hasn't he? So of course it's
Yeah.
going to be nice. Anything with a Shinsengumi coat on looks great.
I'd like to think I'm not going to pre-order this one, but it's possible that I will because he looks so nice.
You will.
I'm going to try not to because I'm not mental keen.
You'll
Unlike
be
some
like,
of
it's
the ones-
Yamato no Kami, so yeah, but it's Touken Ranbu, so you know what? Give it a pre-order.
It depends what month it comes out in, because if it comes out anywhere
Did
near
you order
August-
cashew?
Yes.
Well, there's my case in point right there, because I know for a fact you're not really that fond of cashew.
I actually quite like cashew now. You know, after I did the
Okay.
sword history research,
Yeah.
I was like, suddenly, cashew seems like a really good choice for a starter sword.
Also an excellent choice of nut as well.
But the reason that I ordered cashew is because cashew's really popular, and I know for a fact his scale
Were
figure
you all
will
like,
go up
were
in
you
the
all like
aftermarket.
resale value, Dora
Yeah,
Billio?
I think
Convert
it was
that
more
into
me saying
resources.
to you, if you don't order him, you'll never get him.
Yeah, it's not very often that Alan convinces me to buy figures, so...
It's true. It's usually the
It's
way around,
because
isn't it?
It's the situations where you're not buying it. I'm like, you order all this random stuff. You buy like IMAS figures when you've never seen IMAS, and then suddenly you're not buying Makoto and you're not buying Cashew. And I'm like, that seems suspect.
I've stopped ordering stupid figures now. I only order ones that I actually really, really want from things that I like, so...
Good job.
Hey.
Going on to another figure that I'm not, like, too keen on because I don't like the character too much. Naki Kitsune.
Oh, but yeah! Oh, look at the waveform going.
It's my first drop from 6-2. And I was like, no.
That was funny.
I think the only reason that I don't like him that much is because he just fucking drops everywhere.
Yeah, he's actually one of the better Ichigatanas. Well, one of the better before the 3 Tachi.
I like him because he's a mini. He's like a little fox. He's a little fox. Kogi's a big fox. And then he's got an even littler fox on him.
Mm.
It's like the whole...
Lots of foxes.
Mhm.
But
Get
I
the
don't
mascot
know.
fox there as well.
Yeah, what's his name? Konosuke. I don't know.
That guy that I just clicked to skip his text 'cause I can't read it.
Yeah.
Get out of here, little fox.
But the Naki Kitsune 1/8 scale was painted.
Looks good.
And it looks good.
He's got Kaneki Ken's mask in it.
Yeah. I think that's why I was initially interested in him when we were first looking at this. It looks a little bit like Kaneki Ken.
It was like, oh, that one looks like guts from
Kaneki
Berserk.
Ken. Guts.
Yeah.
That Dotanuki.
Yeah.
This is before I knew anything about the game, and my party was originally going to be 6 Dotanukis.
I bet you were like, oh,
I was like, I can't have multiple swords.
And then you're like,
What?
oh no, he's bollocks.
Yeah, and also, Dotanuki isn't very good. Which made me even sadder. And then I just never got him. Do you know how hype I was to get Dotanuki? Everyone else had him. I didn't get him for
Which is
ages.
really weird.
I get them all the time, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
you're right.
Check out my helmet.
I quite like his art apart from that helmet, because the helmet kind of freaks me out.
Oh man, it's cool.
It's
He
cool.
doesn't wear it. He throws it at people. That's
It's
why it's red.
it's tied into his lore because the Dotanuki, the sword, is famous for splitting open a guy's helmet,
Oh.
and that helmet is the helmet that he split open.
I see.
I think.
It would make sense, yeah.
If I remember correctly, I'm probably completely wrong.
Going back to figures, the bay of the event, I feel like Gokutai.
Oh, Gokutai! If I was going to buy any of the scale Touken Ranbu figures, it would be that little cinnamon roll.
I'm definitely gonna get Gokutai. Like, there's no question.
It comes with
on
little
mine.
tigers.
It comes with like 5 tigers. One's in his head hat.
Head hat. One's in his head.
One's in his head.
It's the tiger of his mind.
And then he's got like 4 around the base, and they're all really cute. And
You can probably position them where you want them to be.
I'd hope so.
Pile them up on top of his head. I love Gokutai.
He's not painted though, so
It makes me really sad. Like, my maternal instincts kick in whenever he goes into awakened mode because he looks so scared. It makes me want to just...
he's all like crying and stuff.
It's
isn't he?
okay.
It's
But
okay.
but the tiger on his head is like, rah. I'm really angry.
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna get Gokutai. You were tempted for a bit, weren't you?
I was tempted, but I'm not buying into Touken Ranbu stuff. I really like the figures. Surumaru looks great. Munashika really surprised me with how good he was.
Munachika looks.
Kogi...
You don't like his face, do
I don't
you?
like Kogi's face.
You sound like girls on my figure collection. So.
But maybe I think the thing with Kogi's face is just that it's difficult to translate from 2D into 3D. Maybe if I see it in person at different angles, I will change my mind. I just feel like the original promotional artwork for the prototypes weren't very flattering in terms of his face.
I quite liked him.
Yeah.
Obviously. 'Cause I
But yeah,
wanted
so
him,
it's one of those. It's the old thing of I can't buy one because if I buy one, I will buy them all, and I can't afford to do that.
yeah, I feel like that's the sort of hell that I'm getting into, and I don't like it.
I'm just like...
It's satisfying, but
I have no interest in buying into them because they're Torabu. I only want, like, a select number of my favourite characters, and they just haven't happened to make any of those yet.
yeah.
Like, if Hotarumaru was in Orange Rouge, I'd probably go in for that. If it was up to the same level of detail as the rest. I'd go for Hotarumaru.
Maybe they'll get to a point where they've done like every single one, and then I'd buy my team. I'd just buy my main
that'd
team.
Be pro. Like, I've got my wall scrolls.
Yeah. Can you imagine a 1/8 scale Iwatushi?
Yeah,
It'd be amazing.
massive.
Like, Iwatushi. Like, can you imagine how amazing Hachisuka's armour would look?
With like chrome or something like
just like going by the detail that they put into all the texture on Gigi's tunic.
Yeah, if they did them, they would do them right in Orange Rouge, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, next one on the list, moving away from Gokutai, is Shisho. Shishio. I wrote it down as Shisho.
Shisho is one of my like old favourites.
Gatsai!
He was because he was the first Tachi that I got. And I smithed. He was like one of the first things that I smithed. I got Shishio. Emily was really jealous because she didn't have him yet, and he's just awesome. He's got a demon on his back because part of his myth was that he killed a demon.
See, all the knowledge bombs getting dropped here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
And he's got his luscious blonde hair, and he's extremely genki, and his casual attire is immense.
Yeah.
Got like the black and gold going on.
Yeah, I will say that his prototype wasn't available to see to the public, so there's just like really bad grainy photos of him about because you weren't supposed to take photos of him.
Yes, people taking crafty snappies with their mobile phones and stuff.
So everyone else has like really nice high-res photos, and then Shishio's are just like...
I wonder why they were so secretive about
I
it.
don't know.
You're not meant to know.
But we knew that the figure was happening.
Yeah, because they announced it last one first.
Yeah.
Okay, because in an even secreter room, there was all of the Odachi figures, and
Don't.
there were Tushi and Akashi. And...
See, I think if there was one figure right now that was going to make me go, oh, screw it, it would be Shishio. If Shishio is really good, it may tempt me to start buying them. But we'll have to see.
We'll have to see when he's painted, I guess. Next is... We're moving on to Nendoroids now.
Yay.
Yeah!
We'll say that Alan is notoriously not a fan of Nendoroids.
It's because they don't look like the characters they're meant to be. If it's
But-
an Nendoroid of a character that's that shape, golden for it.
Unless they're Hotaru Maru, which I think is strangely accurate. Which, funnily enough,
is the first one on the list.
Yep.
But me and Cam's fiance Emily are very much into collecting the Touken Ranbu.
The way you said that, it makes it sound like she's
Not
collectively our fiance.
Did I say
Me and Cam's fiance.
Right, Cam's fiance Emily and myself are really big fans of the Nendoroids.
Got loads of them in my room. There's Cashew right next to me. Check him out.
Yeah, he's pretty great.
Can I pinch his code?
No.
But yeah, so I think me and Emily are probably more excited about any of these Nendoroids than you guys.
Well, that's where you're wrong,
Because
Ebinator. Because when Hotaru Maru got revealed, I literally went straight on Skype, and I was like, Emily, have you seen the Hotaru Maru reveal? And she was like, of course, because she's like psychically connected.
Yeah.
And I went, are you going to pre-order it? And she went, I don't know, I might do. And I went, you are pre-ordering that figure.
So yeah, Hotaru Maru got announced.
I'm really excited for that. I think it'll be really good.
Was it a couple of weeks before Wonfes?
Yeah, it wasn't long before Wonfes, but yeah, we got a couple of like hintos saying that he was coming, and then we got the full reveal at Wonfes.
And he looks like a
He looks
Hotaru
like
Maru
Hotaru.
Nendoroid.
Yeah, he looks like Hotaru Maru.
And obviously I'll be getting him. He was unpainted, but I imagine he'll be the next one that they put up for pre-order. So.
I hope his hat comes off. We discussed this yesterday, didn't we?
I hope it's connected by magnets.
Yeah, takes that off.
I love
Put it on
magnet
other
hats.
Nendoroids.
Yeah, man. It's going to be great. Other than that, there was another unpainted prototype of the Hasebe Nendoroid. I'll get him because he's a Touken Ranbu Nendoroid. I'm not mental about Hasebe.
Hasebe's great.
There's just something about his design that I think is a bit boring.
He's so fast, though.
I was the same at first. When I saw Hasebe, I was like, who's that? And then I don't know, it's just
grown on you.
It's great.
It's because you have to look at him all the time because he's always MVP. Because if you don't kill everyone, he always gets a second hit in.
Good old Hasebe.
But yeah, I'll buy him because he's an android.
His awakened. Like, we can get a figure of his awakened state.
Oh, his awakened state's nuts.
It is because he's like his jacket like explodes and there's stuff everywhere.
Can you imagine a figure of what's his face? Sorza. Who's the little Samonji? Sayo's awakened state.
I think that would be like almost as terrifying as your guts figure.
He's lovely.
Then there were some new announcements, which we'll go through.
Were these ones that were on cardboard or?
Apart
Some of
from
them, I think.
two of them were prototypes.
Okay.
So we'll do the prototypes first. One being the Nendoroid Code Munechika in his casual wear, which I now feel like a bit of an idiot for buying two of the actual Nendoroids for the faceplates because I wanted to display two of them and I could put that faceplate on the code. But I'll buy him because it's Munechika and it's an Nendoroid thing, so I'm in. That's me. And the other one.
I think that right there is a good use of Nendoroid code as well.
Yeah.
Like that's a good example of how it should be used.
Because you're not really going to need to pose the casual ones doing anything.
Yeah. I mean, you could do. It'd be nice, but
Like
it's not.
he's sweeping.
Yeah.
I think it was a smart idea when they announced the figs of Munechika last time as well, where it was casual. They haven't announced like normal Figmas of them or anything yet, but
Which is peculiar.
Yeah,
It's
I think
weird
that's
that
a
they've
bit
not
strange.
done that.
But they announced Munechika Figs. Didn't hear anything about it this Wonfes, but it was in his casual wear.
Maybe they just decided to do Nendoroid instead.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe for the exact reason of.
They just squished him down
Yeah.
a little bit.
Maybe they're worried that something similar to them was going to happen to the free Figmas. Where it's just going to be like, these are posable so we can use them to enact our wildest fantasies.
That was my lowest point of being on my figure collection. When
Doing
all
those
the, like,
poses.
No, when all the photos of the days were like literally photos of Haru and Makoto Figmas like
At the
hunting
very
each other.
least, Touken Danshi are well dressed. They're not in swimwear, so they're not as easy to make it look as though they're actually bumming.
Yeah, but they could just be like grinding up against each other.
Oh,
It'd
they
be
just
proper
put Gigi's
randy.
head on the free figure's body. As
Yeah.
well.
they could do that.
There are the new Figma archetypes that are coming out soon,
Or
which are just
yeah.
naked people.
Or the porn star they made ages ago.
Or the David Figma,
Yeah.
because he's got a little willy.
All
Or you
figures.
put Hotaru Maru's head on a terraformer body.
That's
horrible.
the stuff of nightmares right there.
The other thing that they announced that had a prototype, which surprised me actually, was the Okurikara scale figure.
Oh,
Yeah.
It looks
really
awesome.
good. Yeah.
It looks so
Of
good.
course it does. It's a Kirikara. He's cool.
I've never been that bothered by Kurikara.
Oh, he's good. Again, it's like when you get into he wasn't good. Like you never used him back when he was one of the Tachis. But when the three Uchigatas moved over and you've got to do all your World 6 stuff, he's very useful. And so the swords you use more, you end up getting favoured towards. But was it Kotobukiya last time who had the Shokodakuri?
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
Because that's what I think weird about is that they're in separate lines because you want those two together
Yeah.
because they're the swords of Dasiba Samane.
But no, you can't.
so it's-
You can't do that in the same line, I guess.
Yeah, but I just feel like it depends how extravagant the bases are, like, or how different the paint apps are, how different the style is. If you could actually have them next to each other.
I mean,
think-
chances are we might end up with a similar thing to like Hitaramara and stuff, and we might get a scale figure of Shokudaikari in Orange Rouge anyway. So
Yeah.
it doesn't really seem like it's a free for all at the moment for
I'm
who
not
can
sure,
use what.
I'm not sure, to be honest, because it seems like some people have got to be in communication because we've yet to see any overlap whatsoever.
But that might just be a business thing, like a sense of timing. Like what it would be less beneficial for them to release them at the same time because people
But
who
they have
want
to be aware of what the other two
oh
people are
yeah,
making.
definitely. Maybe they've got like a silent gentleman's agreement. We'll release this now, and we'll release it
And
later.
we'll agree to never make a Kashi or Iwatushi because we don't want Alan's money.
His dirty money.
1 to 6 scale, wonderful hobby selection, Iwatushi.
Would you buy it?
Probably not.
What if it
I
was the
would.
most gorgeous figure in the world?
What if he's in his awakened form and his
It'd be
massive
pretty
man
amazing.
boobs are everywhere?
That would be genius.
His
I
milky
I
titties.
probably would. And there's just like a dead Kibishi on the base. But no, there wouldn't be because Iwatushi's useless against Kibishi.
It would just be all the little guys,
Yeah.
loads of little guys, and then just 5 exhausted Tantos
Yeah.
behind him, like, oh Christ!
We're from the boss lord of 3-4.
Right, let's finish this bit up. Hasabe 1 to 8 scale figure.
Yeah.
Don't have anything to say about him that I didn't say with an android. And then the two surprising announcements for me were Monoyoshi got both an android and a 1 to 8 scale figure.
Yeah, which is awesome.
I mean, I'm happy about it because he's like designed by the same person who did Tsurumara.
Yeah,
so.
and he's
His
Dorbs.
little booties.
He's like a little Sumaru.
Oh, I don't have him yet, but he's broke as hell. He's got the leadership of a blooming Uchigatana. It's like, what are you even doing?
I like him because he's adorable.
He is pretty cute.
He's eating his crusts because he's got his curly hair.
Yeah. I didn't get him in the event though because that event was.
Yeah, I wasn't really playing it that much then during the time that event was on, and I was just like, nah.
I started playing it and I was like, "There's no way I'm going to do this," so I just
Yeah.
quit.
Like,
Pretty much me. I missed a day and I was like, no, that's it.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure he's going to be a drop from 7-1. I think is what they initially said he may have been. So
That would be nice.
when 7-1 comes along, that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
I do
And
like
then I
that they're
get to use my gold swords again.
I like that they're doing that, and they're like making it so the event swords, getting the swords in the event is cool because you get the sword early. But if you don't get it, it's not the end of the world. Because I hear that's a problem with Kantai, in that like there are ships that you get in events, and if you don't get the ship in the event, you're talking years.
Oh my god.
Like Musashi is a prime example. Musashi was an event ship that you could make during a certain time frame or get in some sort of event, and she's only very recently become available to build, and she's like that's a long time.
I'd be sad if they did that because I quite want Monoyoshi.
Of course you
I
do.
think they're getting
'Cause
better for it, but yeah.
If they did another event where you could get him, and you got Monoyoshi before, because you haven't done World 6 yet, you got Monoyoshi before you went into World 6, you're laughing.
Yeah, that's very true. It does give you a distinct advantage, doesn't it?
Just, the only problem with Wakizashis in World 6 is that you're going to 99 them before you get both the Kashi and the Hongo. Unless you're, like, every single person who posts comments on the wiki who's just like, I got the Hongo on my first try, and I'm like, I hate you.
No!
It's like, I got him before I Kibishi the place.
I went in and I got Nihongo from the first node!
But that's it for Wonfes. Wonfes.
Pretty good Wonfes for Touken Ranbu.
Well, they didn't really announce anything. Well, they announced 5 new things. But
Seems like they calmed down since the first couple.
The fucking first waves were like, we're going to announce 7 scale figures, and everyone was like,
Again, I think that was just the time that all the big companies were kind of clambering for stuff.
I'm trying to think, what got announced?
Orange Rouge got everything,
Orange
Kotobiki
Rouge,
got
like-
some things, and then Sentinel got Yoshiyuki.
I suppose.
Like-
Were there any other companies that did anything this time? Maybe Orange Rouge have just got to deal with DMM and they're just doing it on the sly.
Last Wonfes, though, they announced like Naki Kitsune, Gokutai, Shishio. I think Yamato Nakami was in that. Yamato Nakami
Yes.
was announced before Wonfes. I don't think that was at Wonfes. I think Cashew was at Wonfes. I think Surumaru might have been at Wonfes.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of scale figures to get announced in one go.
It was indeed.
And that was in addition to what already would have been Yamato Nakami, Kogitsu no Maru, and Munachika.
Mm.
And we haven't seen any news on some of the other random ones, like the Yoshiyuki from Sentinel and stuff like that.
Yeah, there was. I don't remember what companies they're from. There was Yaman Bagari, there was Kasen, there was Yoshiyuki, Izumi no Kami, the little one that hangs around with Izumi no Kami, I don't remember his name. Hosokawa?
Yeah, no.
No, that's not right.
Horikawa.
Yeah, there we go. I think that's it in terms of like things that have been announced. It's just they didn't do anything this one first, so maybe in summer. By which point I still probably won't buy them because they're not in the Orange Rouge line. So yeah.
Cool.
Should we talk about the game?
Yeah, we spent all this time talking about bloody merch.
I mean, it's
It's semi-relevant.
It's in their interest, the interests of people who like Touken Ranbu.
There's like, I can't buy any merch because I spent all my money on Fuji Emmas during the Nihongo event and didn't get him. That's
Someone's
me.
Better.
I got him first time! I didn't. I wish I had.
I spent like 2,000 yen on Emma to try and smith him when he was smithable. And all these people were just like, yeah, first time, bang. And I'm like,
So there were some new missions added.
There were indeed, yeah, it was randomly the other day. I was really surprised, just generally, that these weren't there initially. But they finally got the missions on there for just completing 6-1 through 6-4, like just doing the boss node. So if you've already done all of those areas, just go through 6-4 one more time, and you'll get your 4 missions granted to you.
Didn't you get like 8 mission complete messages?
Yeah, basically, because like I hadn't done my dailies, and so I had my like get above C rank, do the boss node, do more than 10 nodes, get a Kibishi encounter. So I had those, and then I got one for each of 6-1 through 4, and you get like 1,200 of each resource for each area, plus some Koban. So just go through 6-4 again, and you'll have about 5 to 6k of each resource and some Koban for your pleasure.
Oh, tips from Mr. Allen.
From the guy who plays the game.
Hey, I'm gonna play the game. Maybe I'll play the game more when they release. Not announce.
They've already done
Release,
that.
Touken Ranbu Pocket.
Talkin the Pocket.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're doing so many interesting things now that they've reached the old 2-year anniversary.
1 year anniversary.
1 year anniversary. The second, I meant to say started their second year.
You just got confused there. So, for those of you who don't know, they announced this thing apparently quite a while ago.
We didn't know that.
But we didn't know about it, which was Touken Ranbu Pocket, which is a mobile app that is basically, from what I can tell, Touken Ranbu on your phone.
This is a big deal as well, because obviously a lot of people have been really worried about and really confused as to why, if you play Touken Ranbu on your phone, why do you get banned? It's not really something that I hear about a lot, but DMM are quite stringent in saying, don't play this on your phone. If we find out that you're doing it, we will ban you.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, you're not allowed to play it on your phone. Apparently, it's because phone connections cause more strain on the servers.
Yeah, it's the same reason as to why people who refresh too often have been banned before.
Okay.
I mean, there are ways to abuse that in some regard, but like refreshing if a Kibishi shows up, refreshing constantly. If you screw up when you're not trying to Kibishi an area or something, but yeah, I think it's mainly down to server strain that people are getting banned for refreshing too often.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, it's a big deal because that finally gives you can play it on the go, which means
I can play it at work.
That's probably not a good thing.
I'm probably just.
It's a very good thing.
I'm probably going to play it. I'm actually going to play the game again because I haven't done it for a while.
What was the announcement that came with it? Because there's a very specific set of things that you need to do.
So they've done their big ad campaign, which is you need to get Line on your phone. I assume it's going to be a Line game.
Yeah, probably.
For that very reason. So you need to get Line, and you need to.
I'll put some instructions up on the screen for you.
You need to
follow.
Become friends with Touken Ranbu online.
Yeah, so you basically, there will be a QR. If you log into your game, the QR code is on your screen. So when you log in, you'll see a little thing, and you'll see a couple of little bits that we'll talk about. But yeah, you get Line. There's a QR code on the screen. Scan that. That'll add them as your friend, and then follow Talkin_Pocket on Twitter. And this isn't something you actually need to do to be able to play the game. This is something to gauge interest or whatever. Because they've got a little campaign thing running wherein between now and the 1st of March, when the game drops, the people who are pre-registering, which is what they're counting this as, if they get up to certain numbers, you'll get a free sword, complimentary, when you start. So if it's 500 grand, which they've already exceeded, is Kogi. So absolutely getting Kogi already. For $1 million, GG, which I think they probably will have exceeded by now, because they were on 600-700k when I checked a couple of days ago.
And what was it, 1.5 mil?
1.5 mil for a new sword. He's got long hair. He's a silhouette right now, but I'm pretty sure they're going to get to the 1.5 mil by the 1st of March. There's best part of a month to go at this point, and hopefully we get a new sword.
We'll get a new sword to play with.
Because even for all the people who don't have GG yet.
What does this mean though? How do you? Because obviously, friending them online and following them on Twitter doesn't give them any of your account details. So is it just going to be a thing of
completely disconnected? Every single person who logs in and does the app's tutorial within the first week of its launch will get that free.
So you just have to log in to Touken Pocket,
even if you haven't followed on Twitter and done all this stuff. However, do that anyway because that'll obviously make it so that we're all getting this new sword.
Yeah.
Or you just no, I want to get GG, and then you just refuse to do that. But I'm sure even if GG is the one that people end up getting and they don't get to 1.5 mil, I'm sure they'll implement this new sword at some point anyway.
Well, they're not going to have designed a sword for no reason.
Yeah. Well,
I don't care. I mean, I'll take GG.
I mean, I think it's mainly a case of you getting the sword for doing nothing, whereas when they introduce him in something, you probably have to do some.
If you're a bit, anal about your friends lists and your following lists and stuff as well. The accounts that they've made for Line and for Twitter, they'll be deleting them after the app's launch, so you don't have to worry about that either.
Are you excited?
For Touken Pocket?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I say, it's going to be a good avenue for me to start playing the game again.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that I'm very rarely at home where I'm not working on my computer. So I don't really have time to play a bunch of Touken Ranbu, and I've missed so many events because I've been in Japan and away for my birthday.
It's one of those things
quite annoying.
Touken Ranbu is supposed to be one of those things that you can just kind of leave running in the background and click on it every now and again, do a sortie, blah blah blah. But I can't do that. I'm very bad at multitasking. If I'm playing Touken Ranbu, I am playing Touken Ranbu and doing nothing else.
When I'm sitting there watching wrestling, got the odd 6-4 grind on the side. When I'm in Skype calls, when I'm doing anything, you'll just hear me clicking, and chances are I'm doing it. But the two things I'm worried about with this is that how easy it's going to be for us to actually get it working as people in the West.
I will assume it will be like every other Japan exclusive app, where you have to, for iPhones, make an account that has a Japanese address for iTunes, and whatever the equivalent would be for Android. This is how people have gotten Love Live and Ensemble Stars and whatever other Japan exclusive games there are. And I assume it'll be the same. I hope it's not as finicky as it can be sometimes to get Touken Ranbu running in the first place on PC.
I wonder if, it's one of those things, isn't it?
I'm sure it's doable in 1 week.
Yeah.
I'm sure DMM are aware of how popular Touken Ranbu is outside of Japan.
I don't understand why they haven't just gone, everyone can play it, because I don't
It must be some sort of, maybe a licensing thing, or...
Yeah.
Very
much.
That'll be why. It's probably why they've kind of said, you can't play it. But...
Yeah, by the way, if you ever play Touken Ranbu, no tweeting out your name or whatever and saying, I'm from England, I play Talkin Ranbu, because you might get yourself in trouble.
Yeah, what I find is as long as you're sensible, you won't get banned for playing outside of Japan, because why would they do that? You know?
Yeah, and the other thing I'm worried about is that the very slight potential chance that it could be a case of you have to have your own unique account for the Pocket version, so you'd have to start again from scratch on a new thingy.
That would suck.
I think that's possible, but
I don't know. I reckon if you probably boot up the game and you can just log into your DMM account.
That's my assumption, and that's my hope, but it's possible that they could go another way. It depends if it's exactly the same, or if it's got its own new little...
I mean, looking at the screenshots,
quirks.
it looks exactly
the same, yeah.
Which is great.
Although we were speculating about what it actually was before I did a bit of research and found out that they were demoing this thing at the Tokyo Game Show last year, but we were like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if it was like a pedometer or a Tamagotchi or something, where you could like build up resources and
petting mini game.
Yeah,
well,
like Fire
encourage
Emblem.
you, like you don't earn resources through anything other than walking, and I'd just never be in the house anymore.
But yeah,
that'd be a good incentive to earn more resources,
exactly.
Isn't it? Oh.
Take it to the
DMM?
garden.
Come on, man.
anything else to say about Talkin Ranbu Pocket?
No, it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be amazing, and I'm never going to sleep ever, because my standard thing is when I get in bed, I'm just dicking about on YouTube.
Oh
and everything.
no! If they implement push notifications, so you're going to get a little push notification, and be like, your guys have come back from expedition.
Oh.
At like 4 in the morning, and you'll be like, oh, send them back out.
There'll be notifications for every like new update. So it's like, here's another repair campaign. And all
when
that
your Smith
kind of
completes, when your repairs complete. Oh, there's so many different options as to what they could do for push notifications that would just
I would assume it's
glue
just
me to the game.
the same stuff that we currently get emails about.
Yeah,
When you get those DMM emails, oh, it's a DMM email. Is there something good? Oh, it's another underground treasure chest.
Hey, they do different things on occasion.
They do, and Regiment Battle was amazing.
I missed it.
It was so
I
good.
missed it. I'm so sad.
It was a ball ache after a while, but conceptually, it was great, because you got to use all 4 teams at once.
I'm gutted that I missed it.
He'll be back.
And
He'll be
Higakiri and Hizumaru were amazing, because they toku several times.
So, yeah. I think that says for the first episode of this Odyssea podcast.
We've done surprisingly well. I thought this was going to be a bit of a...
Yeah, considering it is 20 to 11 at night. But
That's
just
not late.
so you know what we're doing with this podcast, it will be me and Alan on a semi-regular basis, just whenever there's something new in the world
worth
of
talking about. It's
Touken
not going
Ranbu.
to be scheduled, because it's not going to be like, well, what did you do on Torabu this week? I ground for more Nihongos, and I didn't get Nihongo. I got 84 Urashimas, though.
End of episode.
So when there's a new event or an interesting, like, real-life event like Wonfes, or if there's anything that we think you guys want to hear about and that we want to talk about, we will do that. And basically, I'm going to take all of the event explanation videos that I was doing on my channel, put them into the podcast, just neaten things up a bit, and it'll be cool.
Yeah.
So if you're like that and you want some more of this, subscribe to Bizarre Jelly 5.
Subscribe to Bejazzers.
Like, comment, Twitter and Instagram.
Yay.
Yay. If you don't and you don't like Sword Boys.
Smith that like button.
You like Sword Boys, don't you?
What's happening anymore? But yeah.
This is why you shouldn't have had me as a guest.
Yeah, boy.
Obviously we had to have you as a guest, because Wonfest, dog.
And we're at your house,
And
mate.
we're in the
your
flat.
house.
It's alright, when you have Tensei Twister as a guest, you get thrills, you get spills, you get dirty jokes.
Sometimes, on occasion.
And then puns.
But I hope you enjoyed this first episode of Talkin Ranbu.
Yeah.
It's been good fun. It's been pretty cool. I reckon the fans will enjoy it.
The fans.
I also do want to say, we settled on the name Talkin Ranbu.
Talkin.
Tolkien.
J.I.R.
Touken Ranbu.
Talkin Ranbu. But the other name on the table was Talking Rambles. Or Touken Rambles.
Touken Rambles.
And I was like, we're trying to figure out which one's better. We went with Talkin Ranbu, because it probably is better. But
Do you know what I wish, right? I wish my name was Dan. Because then I could have made a Touken Ranbu YouTube channel.
Called
And it could have just
Tordan.
been called Touken Dan. And then have a sex change operation. It'd be a girl, Touken Danshi.
there we go.
There you go. Man. Anyway, let's end this podcast.
Possibilities. Bye.
Thanks for listening, and let us know in the comments what your favourite sword is.
Yeah.
You should talk about. In fact, you should talk about. We're gonna do sword of the day.
Oh yeah, we're not gonna do it now because this one's been pretty long and we didn't prepare. But we're gonna do a sword of the day. So next time we will pick a random sword and just have a little bit of a chat about him. Who knows who it could be? Maybe it will be Tarotachi. That would be nice.
This week's sword of the day. This episode's sword of the day was. Who don't we like? Kassen.
We don't like
This
Kassen.
week's sword of the day was Kassen, so we don't have to talk about him again.
Brilliant.
Yeah, Kassen sucks.
What are you talking about? I love Kassen. Dislike.
There are a lot of people that like Kassen, don't get me wrong, but I am not one of those.
The
people.
only thing I like about Kassen is the fact that his sheath for his katana is birch.
Mm-hmm.
And he is the weakest of the starters.
Is he?
Yep.
That's really surprising considering.
So
your own
objectively shit.
Exactly. He's not the weakest Uchi katana. That's our boy Soza Samonji, who's like,
Aww,
I'm
Poor
awful.
baby.
poor
But
Soza.
Soza Samonji
He does give one of every stat when you gatai him with someone.
Don't talk about breaking Soza up. I'd like to talk about Soza at some point, but maybe that'll be next time. Who knows? Yeah, Kassen, not very good. Pick better swords.
Hachisuka every time.
Okay, bye-bye.
Blazers.
This really turned into talking rambles.
Yeah, it really did.
Bye.
Bye.